now. Welcome everyone, this is On Just Restart. I am joined by Brandon from What About Nintendo, Mars from Lazy James, and well, yeah, we're going to be talking about Smash Brothers and Nintendo Direct leaks and rumors and some other Nintendo news that have come up recently. So there's a lot to talk about, but first off, how are you guys doing? Let me know. I don't know, everything was crashing on me, so I'm just all over the place. Brandon, I know you were on vacation.
Right.
How have things been?
Yeah, I went. It's been a crazy month because I went on vacation like 3 weeks in a row. Just like vacation, like 2 weekends and then a whole week. So it was like most of that month was not at my house. Like I was away on a trip. So I mean, it was pretty fun though. I got to see a lot of friends, some family. Got to drive in the mountains, take some cool pictures, see some waterfalls, hike. Cool stuff like that. So yeah, it was a great time. I did play the Switch. I got to play it in handheld mode, so that was fun. Getting getting my money's worth for that feature. So it was great. Cool. Yeah, like it was kind of interesting, man, because you and me have been working pretty closely together for a while, and you've gone on two like back-to-back trips, and I'm like, oh my god, where's Brandon? Where's Brandon? Yeah,
so it's just kind of crazy. You were actually missed. Just letting you know. But
yeah,
I'm glad you had a good time.
I missed the first podcast in a long time. Like, before that one, I had missed one months. So that was pretty crazy.
Yeah, and while you were gone, Mars came in for that one. Speaking of which, how are you doing, buddy? Thanks for coming on the show again. I know I didn't I was like just sending you like information like randomly because I was like working, and then I came home and was like, oh, I have to set this all up. So like this is like the first time I've had a moment to just kind of like take a moment to sit down and actually just talk. So what's up?
Yeah, being on the show was good. You know, I like being on the show, and you know, Brandon wasn't there, so it was just me and you holding it down. But now we got all three of us. But yeah, I'm doing good, man. I've been trying to beat this Octopath Traveler. You know, Spider-Man coming out, and then Dragon Quest came out today, so it's kind of tough.
Yeah. I just saw the review for Spider-Man. I wasn't thinking about getting it, but after hearing a review from IGN, I'm now thinking about getting it because it's like. I've played the Spider-Man games before, where you're swinging around the Manhattan, and it's open world, and it's really cool. And I'm assuming that they're gonna realize that they're realizing that vision better than ever before. But what really was sort of getting to me was they were kind of talking about like playing not just as Spider-Man but as Peter Parker, right? And really kind of delving into that story and that mythos. And that was like, oh wait, maybe I do want to get this game. Right, so I don't know, I'm kind of excited about Spider-Man as well, so I might give that a try. If I can also get around to trying God of War, Octopath Traveler, Okami HD, Dead Cells, Bayonetta 1, Bayonetta 2. What else?
Games. Yeah.
Shadow of the Colossus Remastered. I'm still need to finish Metro Prime 2. I did a stream of it yesterday. I finally beat Quadraxis. I got to Quadraxis for the first time in my life, and I've wanted to fight this boss for years. I finally got to him yesterday, but I still haven't beaten the game. I'm gonna try to beat that maybe Thursday if it's possible. But yeah,
nice.
Yeah. But I don't. This is random thing that just came up in my head. I saw it on Twitter earlier. Was it Polygon? I think I'm not sure if it was Polygon or Kotaku. I'm gonna say it's Polygon. I think I heard that Polygon is pulling review scores from the reviews now.
What?
Yeah, they're not gonna put numbers anymore.
I think it was Polygon. It definitely started with a P, but it might have been a different company. But yeah, I think it was Polygon that they're changing the way they do review scores or something.
I wonder what they're coming with.
Play the game if you like it. Play the game.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's I think it's interesting, and I potentially like this move because I think review scores, while I love looking at the numbers and I love saying, oh, Breath of the Wild and Mario Odyssey are in the top 10 on Metacritic, right, of all time, Ocarina of Time is the highest rated game of all time. I love saying that, right? And I think there's some value to the numbers, right, when you have a large sample size, but I think, but in the grand scheme of things, I don't think it really matters. Because, I mean, what difference does it make if Ocarina of Time is number 1 on Metacritic or number 50 on Metacritic, right? Like, there are other games that people hold as some of the greatest of all time, and they're not on the top 10. And they did way better than Ocarina of Time, right? Or worse. Like, I just, I think because I feel like a lot of people place a lot more value on the number, and because they see that number, they don't give it a try, right? Like if a game is like under 9.5, there's a lot of people who won't give the game a try. They won't necessarily pay attention to what the game is about and if it's more fitting to their tastes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm not necessarily against them taking away the number system. I think that might, if it forces people to focus more on what's being said, then I think it's actually better, because then people will have a better understanding of what they're getting rather than worse.
Right, yeah.
Because the game is the game. Like how you say, if Ocarina, if it's 50, I'm still gonna enjoy it. Like I enjoy it. I mean, nothing's gonna change about that. I don't care what the score is.
Yeah, I mean, when I got Ocarina of Time, I didn't get Ocarina of Time. I was like, oh my god, this is the highest rated game of all time. First of all, Ocarina of Time came out in 1998, right, where the internet wasn't even that popular. So how many people actually knew that much about it being so high up on Metacritic, right? Probably not that many people. Like, it was successful for other reasons. So, yeah, I'm personally, I think, you know, there are other ways to sell a game aside from just an arbitrary number.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah, that's why when I did my review of like Wolfenstein, I tried to come up with a different system than just a number system. So I came up with it was like a recommendation scale, like how much I would recommend this to other people or something. It's still kind of, you know, it's the first time I'd ever done one, so it's, you know, it's probably going to change a lot. But I think it kind of conveyed my thoughts a lot better than just a random number, especially since the number can mean like completely different things to different people. Like some people think a 7 is absolute trash. Some people think a 7 is like a pretty good game. Yeah. Like it's nobody knows what these numbers actually mean. They're just like whatever it's up to interpretation.
Yeah, but Andres has a good point though. With the number system, I do like saying 10 out of 10 because I got a lot of PlayStation and Xbox friends, and they always ask me about Breath of the Wild. They still haven't played it yet, and I say, every time they say something, hey, look, man, 10 out of 10. That's all I can say. 10 out of 10. Play the game. So I mean, you get to do that, but a write-up is better. Just like having like the feeling of trying to get the feeling out of the game.
Yeah, absolutely. And here's the thing, like if you look at movies, right? Like for movies, yeah, you can go on Rotten Tomatoes, but I feel like when people want to watch a movie, they're not like, oh my god, this is the highest rated movie of all time. No,
right.
What people sort of look at for a movie, well, they do pay attention. People do pay attention to Rotten Tomatoes. I pay attention to Rotten Tomatoes, but I'm not looking at Rotten Tomatoes to see, oh, is it 99.9 or 99.5, right? I'm looking at, oh, is this a dud or is this good, right? Like that's all I'm looking for. Am I gonna have a good time, right? Because sometimes you'll see a trailer and it sells you on the idea, but the execution is terrible, right? So I think, like when game companies sell you the game, like when they advertise with a trailer or ads or Nintendo Directs or what have you, they're selling you the concept of the game, right? But you don't necessarily know the execution. That's why we need reviews and previews, right? So a review or a preview only really has to tell you, hey, this is how well it's being executed, and these are the things I've noticed about the game. We don't necessarily need a number to understand if the concept is being executed correctly, right?
Right.
So I don't know. Look, I guess the point being, I don't think we need numbers, but I also enjoy numbers, so it's kind of like, bittersweet for me if we see numbers disappear altogether. But there's sales numbers. We can look at sales numbers, because sales numbers also are a big deal. Actually, they're a bigger deal because, money. That's what you need to make games. Yeah. So let me see what you guys are saying in chat. Hey, Lo, Snowman, Julio, Severial, how you guys doing? 773R, how's it going, man? Yeah, I do hope they pull out some sort of crazy surprise at the Nintendo Direct. We'll see what happens. Roblox fan, what's up, bro? Final Fantasy VII Remake never releasing. I always read the first part of your name, but I never read the second part of the name. Well, I've read it, but like, it's never. It's gonna release someday, but not anytime soon. PK memes, man. Yeah, actually, I saw your comment about the Geno, about finding me from the Geno video as the Geno music was playing in the background. So, what's up, bro? Yeah. Hey, Blackstar dude. GG. Wait, Brandy, what did you see?
There are currently 26 people watching this stream.
Oh, you got a big audience today. Got a big audience today. Oh my god. Oh my god. There's another Andres in the chat.
Oh, it's a fake one?
Oh. No,
No,
it's
no,
just
he's not
somebody
fake.
else
He's
named
another real
Andres.
Andres.
Okay, okay. I see.
Yeah,
I see
surprise,
what's going on.
surprise. I'm not the only Andres in existence. Hey, Joe. Hey, Wolf. DK Smash. What's up, guys? Wolf, you haven't missed anything. We were just talking about review scores. We haven't started like the actual topics yet. But I guess I'm just making the argument that we don't necessarily need review scores, right? Because apparently Polygon is now pulling their actual numbers now and just focus on talking about the games. Whenever I've done reviews recently, that's not what I've kind of done. So I think, you know, it's more important to just pay attention to what's being said about a game and decide if it's good for you. Like, for a good example is actually Octopath Traveler, right? Like, that game reviewed well, but it didn't review like 10 out of 10 well across all across the board, right? But it took off. That game took off by word of mouth, by, you know, not meme culture, but just like internet culture, right? And the people are like, hey, this is a really good game, you should try it out. And you see the music, the graphical style, right? And what it kind of reminds you of like previous, like older games like Chrono Trigger and the Final Fantasy games. So a lot of people have been giving that game a try, which I still haven't, by the way. I've only played the demo because it's $60 and I'm poor. But that's the only reason why I haven't gotten around to playing it yet. But I will, I swear. Yeah, so do you guys want to jump into the discussion, or is there anything else you want to sort of touch on before we move forward?
I'm good to jump in, bro.
Sweet. All right, so no, I didn't. We've brought up the Sony no crossplay issue several times already on the podcast, but there's an update on that debacle that I wanted to talk about. So, all right, so there's this article that basically Sony says it doesn't do cross-platform play because PlayStation 4 is the best experience for users. That's their reasoning. That's their official statement. The reason we don't do crossplay is because PlayStation 4 is the best place to play. I mean, just look. I have a PS4, and while I'm a hardcore Nintendo fan, I actually really like my PS4. Right? I mean, if you join in the beginning of the podcast, half of my games that are on my to-do list to play like ASAP are on PS4. Right? So it's not like I hate PS4, right? But with Sony, but this is like.
It's a cocky statement.
It's cocky, all right. Like it's, oh, dude.
See that kind of statement right there. You know, there's a disconnect with like the management and people that play games, and every company has it. It's like a disconnect. They don't understand like what the consumer wants, or like that's what they want, but they don't get it. They'll probably never get it until it's too late.
Yeah. And it's interesting actually because this one issue alone I don't think is gonna like force Sony to tank all the like, you know, to be third place next gen, but I think it's a trend.
Right.
It's correlation isn't causation, but I think this is a side effect of where they could be headed, right? So if you look out throughout the history of like video game console sales, right, it's very cyclical, right? So for example, all right, so Nintendo, when they sort of helped to rebirth the video game franchise back in the 80s with the NES, like, they were the big man on campus, right? And then they sort of did really well, and they started to cruise a little bit with the Super Nintendo. Then Sega Genesis came along, and they sort of competed really hard. But then out of nowhere, PlayStation came along, right? And Nintendo was very cocky. Like, they had controls on third parties, right? And then there's a whole bunch of legal issues during the early 90s, and that's how the Sega Genesis started to compete. They actually started getting third-party games because of a lot of victories and legal battles that allowed third parties to have more control over their games, and Nintendo was trying to hold that back. And they did that because they could, because they were so powerful, right? So then as a result, Sega sort of took away some of the limelight, and then out of nowhere, Sony came in, and they became the big man. With the PS1, they took over everything, right? So Nintendo was really cocky. Right, before Nintendo, we had Atari. They got really cocky, they went downhill. Nintendo's really cocky, they went downhill, Sony came up. Right, and then Sony got really cocky for the PS1 and PS2 era, and guess what happened? Nintendo and Microsoft came up with the 360 and the Wii, and then Sony tanked with the PS3, right? And then after they went up, they went down, then we came back up with the PS4, right? And now Nintendo, after being down with the Wii U, are back with the Nintendo Switch. So now it's almost looking like that next generation, right, the PS5 isn't going to do nearly as well as the PS4, and then meanwhile the Xbox One, which is kind of a down year for Microsoft after they had the great year with the 360, they're going to have maybe a better generation, right? It's this up and down nature with consoles. So I see, because the companies get cocky because they have so much money, they have so much control, and then once they lose a lot of that market share, they're like, oh, they have to be more consumer friendly to get it back.
Yeah, that control is a thing, man. It just makes them feel, and I get what they're saying, because everybody has the PlayStation, so they're in control. They can pick and choose. But the thing is, I don't think they realize how easy it is to abandon ship if you're not liking it. It's like, okay, we're out, we're jumping. And with that said, Nintendo finally is getting a good foothold in Japan with their install base with the Switch. And there was a game that came out, I don't know if it was a big game, that it actually outsold, the Switch version outsold the PS4 version. Even though it wasn't a big game, but it's still saying something. How you saying it shows the beginning of what could be.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, Nintendo has a lot of other things to work at, which I think we'll talk about at some point. But just to reference one thing that Gigi said about how Nintendo helped to make the PlayStation, that is true. At one point, it was going to be the Nintendo PlayStation. But yeah, Nintendo did back out, and then Sony, during that entire process working with Nintendo, they were also working with other companies. They got really comfortable with the industry, and they had enough connections and networking to facilitate a pretty strong launch with the Sony PlayStation. And then yeah, they kind of took off. But I don't. Well, I think Nintendo is obviously an upward trend. There are some things that I think they really need to work on. They're not.
Yeah, they do. Yeah.
Like I saw this video from the BitBlock where he was talking about, hey, we need more videos like Netflix and YouTube and stuff like that. And it's kind of true. We still don't have that yet. We're a year and a half into the Switch's life cycle, and we still don't have any video on demand. Now, that's not because Nintendo's not trying to be consumer friendly. That's just because Nintendo. I don't actually.
I think they figure most people already have it, because that's like, you think none of their systems were able to play DVDs, and you always thought it was coming, but it never came. And I think this is going to be the same case, in my opinion.
I really hope not. Yes, I have several different ways to watch Netflix and Crunchyroll and Hulu and all that good stuff, but I like having it all in one place. And there are times when I use, let's say, my computer or my PlayStation 4 more, because those apps that are available on there keep me on there, right? So if you think about it from that perspective, having those apps on the system keep you there, and if you keep you there, what happens? You will then maybe check, oh, Mario Kart Gamer just subscribed, what's up, man? But like, you will stay on the system, right? So you'll check the eShop, you'll be more likely to play more games, buy more games. So I think it makes sense to have the videos on demand, but they haven't done it yet, and it's been a year and a half. But we also don't even have a paid online service yet, and it's been a year and a half, although that is launching this month.
Yeah, there's some weird things that they're doing with certain games that are online, certain games that aren't online even though they make sense, or like only parts of them are online, like Mario Party. It's like you can only play the mini games online, which is like, what? Like, you think 2018 you get an online Mario Party at least for friends, but they don't. And then they're doing the weird thing with voice chat, which it's dumb. So
Absolutely.
There's some weird things on pretty much every console that just like anti-consumer. It's just like, what are you doing? Why are you doing that?
It's weird. But like, so we're going to be talking about a potential Nintendo Direct in a little bit, but do you guys think we're going to see any sort of announcements for videos on demand on Nintendo, or no?
I mean,
this year.
I mean, it could happen. I mean, we got Hulu like out of the blue,
right?
And I think Netflix said that they said that they were working with Nintendo or something. They had an interview with Netflix. And they said something about this.
It's been said that it's been in the works, but there's been like conflicting reports, and we're just not sure why it's taking so long. But it's not like there isn't any work being done towards it. It's just we're not sure. I wonder if it has to do with the Nintendo Switch's like capturing ability, because when the Switch is docked, you can capture gameplay, right? But here's the problem. Like, I didn't even realize this was like an actual issue until recently, but like when it comes to like streaming platforms like Netflix, apparently a lot of people use that opportunity to rip these videos and movies and sell them on the internet or use them on the internet. So that's why, for example, on your PlayStation 4, you have to like disable the capturing feature, or else you can't actually use Netflix. So I wonder if Netflix is having an issue with Nintendo and the way Nintendo's handling their operating system, because there could be some sort of issue with the way the operating system works to allow Netflix but also block capturing at the same time, right?
From as far as what we know how capturing works, since it's only available in certain games, and it seems the developers have to like work with Nintendo to make it available in their games, I don't think that'd be an issue.
I don't mean the recording button, I mean like, for example, when you put in a capture card.
Capture cards.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Because like on the PlayStation 4, you have a way to like disable that feature manually in the options, but you don't on the Nintendo Switch. And I wonder, I'm just suggesting, I don't know, right? I'm not a programmer, I don't program the Nintendo Switch, but I'm wondering if that has anything to do with it. That Nintendo still has to like put in several updates for the Nintendo Switch operating system because it's still kind of pretty basic. So I wonder if that has anything to do with it. And it also could be related, to a bunch of other things, because we still don't have like a messaging system and all these other things for the Switch yet, and it's weird.
Yeah, that's odd.
Yeah, it seems like they only want to like work on one thing at a time. Like it's just all right, we'll just do this one thing. All right, that's done. Now let's work on the next. So it may take a while.
Yeah. They're really taking their time.
Weird.
And you feel it more because this year's a bit more of a slow year. Like in 2017, it was great because it's just the first year. Don't worry, they'll get the apps on soon enough. We were okay with it because we were mostly okay with it because we understood that hey, it's the first year. But now it's the second year, and this year doesn't have as many new exclusive games, right? So now it's just kind of like hey, we don't have as many games to play, right? Or at least new games to play, and we don't have any other features on the Switch yet. So it's a lot more noticeable now. But anyways, let's just move on, right? Let me see what you guys are saying in the chat. Xbox is better space-wise, Sony is better first-party-wise. I kind of agree with that. Yeah, well, definitely Sony better first-party-wise than Xbox for sure.
I don't think the Xbox has a lot of games that take like 100 gigabytes for no reason. Like Halo 5. Like, what the hell is in that game that you need 100 gigabytes? I think even the Halo Master Chief Collection, I think, like, Halo 2, because we were gonna, on the trip, I was gonna play Halo 2 with my friends, and they didn't have it downloaded. We're like, oh, it won't take that long. You know, this game came out on the original Xbox. How big could the file size be? 44 gigabytes.
Oof. And that's another thing, right? Like, Nintendo is so different, because their first-party games are so small. It's not because they're small, it's because they take more time with compression and such. So just differences in companies, right, and how they handle different things. I saw, I guess, an interesting question. MicroApp was asking, how many more years do you think the PS4 cycle will last? We're hearing rumors about PlayStation 5 already, right? So
yeah, I'd say probably 2.
Yeah, I'm thinking 2.
I think we could see the PlayStation 5 next year, but just because we see the PlayStation 5 next year doesn't mean the PS4 will be dead, right? Like, when the PS4 came out, the PS3 still lasted for like another 2 years, right? So, and even, like, that first year, there is a lot of overlap with the games. So,
there's a ton, yeah.
I feel like, I think 2 years is a safe bet that your PS4 will be relevant for at least another 2 years.
Right.
So, yeah. Hey, Peter Griffin. Yeah, man, this is a podcast, man, a live podcast where we talk about Nintendo and stuff. So, actually, and we're gonna be getting to a whole bunch of conversations about the Smash leaks and rumors and direct rumors, but we're covering a few other topics first, that, with news that have sort of gone on recently. And it kind of brings us to the next topic. Unless there's anything else you guys want to say in reference to like Sony being a douchebag.
I'm good, bro.
Okay, so Dragalia Lost, right? There was a little Nintendo Direct that came out. It was last week. Of course, that's why we're talking about this week. But just a mobile game that's coming out September 27th, and it's an action fantasy RPG. What did you guys think of it?
I mean, I was actually surprised just how deep the mechanics seem to be. Like, there's skill trees and like multiple like ways to level up, and there's a ton of customization for every character and stuff like that. So it seemed like a pretty deep RPG, and it also looked fun. Like the combat wasn't just kind of like how I thought it was going to be, just like tap the screen a bunch. Like you can tap it and slide it and do different like inputs to do different attacks and stuff. So it actually looked like a game that you could really sink your teeth into, which is surprising for a mobile game.
Yeah, when I see the game, it looks fun to me, but at the same time, like I see how it was constructed so they can make a lot of money with it, right? Like it's Fire Emblem Fates 2.0. So I mean, like you have all the dragons, right? Like which are kind of like, you know, cute versions of Pokemon, just all dragon types, right? And then you have a whole bunch of warriors, right? And then what is it? There's Wiver. I forget the name. Was like there's like 2 forms of currency, right?
Right.
One of which is you buy. One of which you buy.
Right.
To basically upgrade everything, and it looks like the game structured in a way where you can still get a lot done without having to pay for things, which is the way I think it should be. But and I'm not concerned about the game being good for people who don't want to use money. It's just I personally never really that into mobile games. Like all of Nintendo's mobile games, while they're good, the one I played the most is Pokemon Go. Every other one I put in a couple hours and that's it. And one of the things that sort of annoys me is just you usually always have to have an online connection. And usually when I want to use these mobile games is like when I'm on the train, when I'm heading into Manhattan, right? And guess what? When you're in Manhattan, when you go in underground in the subway, you usually don't have any service, or it's really bad. So the connections with these games is kind of... So that's kind of my personal gripe with like Nintendo's mobile games. But this one looks good. And it's also interesting because it's an actual new IP. It's the first new IP that's being introduced to mobile as opposed to a Nintendo system.
Right.
How do you guys feel about that?
It's interesting. I mean, I don't really know. It's not really an IP that I think would have made it onto the consoles anyways. It seems like more generic sort of IP, and I don't know if it's something that they're going to like use a lot in the future. I don't know if it's like they want to start a series of this or not. So I mean, it's pretty cool that they're doing a new IP, but it's not like something that's super deep story wise. But I haven't played the game, so it could have a deeper story than they make it out to be. But as far as I can see, like there is a story obviously, but it doesn't seem to be like that massive. So I don't know if it's really. It seems pretty generic.
Yeah, just random correction. I think I said Fire Emblem Fates earlier. I meant Fire Emblem Heroes, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I know Fire Emblem Fates is like the remake, but whatever. The names, man, just whatever. But yeah. I mean, I'm gonna give it a try on the 27th, and we'll see what happens. Hopefully, I don't get addicted and spend $1,000.
Yeah, that's the worst.
Yeah. But did you get to see the direct on Dragalia Lost? Do you care anything about this game, man, Mars?
Yeah, I do. I don't play mobile games. I just can't get into them. It's me. I can't. Mm-hmm. But I am going to give this a shot because usually mobile games, they're too like spinny off-ish for me. Like but like how Brandon was saying, like the controls they don't seem as generic or whatever. So I'm gonna give it a shot. But my only problem is how Andre is saying, if you run into those walls, like if I want to play the game for 2 hours, an hour and 30 minutes, I'm gonna have to cough up money. I don't like that.
Right. Yeah, I think it will probably be structured like Fire Emblem Heroes, where you don't have to pay for anything, but if you want like a different fighter or something, you could pay for it, or you could just grind. Fire Emblem Heroes, gave out a lot of free currency, like the paid currency, like all the time. They were always having different events where you could get the currency. As long as you were actually like keeping up with the game, you could get it pretty easily, and you never really had to have it. So I'm not too worried about that, just because Nintendo's done so well with their microtransactions, not shoving them in your face, not forcing you to buy anything. Not like some mobile games. Like I played some mobile games like Clash of Clans, where you're waiting literal weeks for something to be built. It's like, or you could pay $10 to have it now. It's like, or I could just stop playing this game and save my money. So they're a lot better about that kind of stuff. And as far as I could tell, like you should be able to get through the whole game with your, the normal characters you get for free. So
Yeah. Now, one thing I do like about this game, and it's just about mobile games in general, that it's going to have a live like multiplayer thing going on.
That's really cool. Actually,
so
that's something.
Like, that's gonna be tight.
Yeah. Actual like four-way multiplayer. That's gonna be, and I'm assuming it's online, right?
Yeah. That's so like if you got 4 people, y'all can run dungeons together. So that's pretty big for mobile gaming in general.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you know, I wonder how well it's gonna do because it's a new IP, right? I feel like the selling power of other Nintendo IPs in mobile is because they're established Nintendo IPs. So Nintendo is trying to reestablish a new, establish a new IP with Dragalia Lost on mobile. Right. So I wonder how well it's going to do. I feel like, you know, it has potential to do really well in terms of its game structure, kind of like Heroes, right? Yeah. But it's not an established IP. So I wonder how well it will do.
Yeah. Going free to play was definitely the right route for this game.
I think it's the right route for every single mobile game, right? I think Nintendo understood that they kind of made a mistake with Mario Run. So, you know, I think, yeah. And actually, we might be getting news on Mario Kart Tour not too long from now.
Yeah, you're right.
And that's something I'm really interested in. I'm more interested in Mario Kart Tour because I have no idea how they're gonna make it Mario Kart without it, not with it just being like mobile Mario Kart. And still being Mario Kart, I'm really curious how they're going to implement that without it just feeling kind of like Temple Run, but with a Mario Kart skin.
That's yeah.
I feel like it's going to play like Asphalt. If you've played any of those games where you use the gyro controls and there's a drift button on screen and stuff, it'd be pretty easy to have the item buttons and stuff.
That would be pretty intense, though. Like, the thing is, because I feel like depending on how the game is structured, you don't want to structure the game in a way where people will just play the mobile game and not play Mario Kart on another system. That's just the way I see it. Like, I think they have to think about how the game complements the other games. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because they've made statements like that before. Like, they don't want people just playing Pokemon Go. They still want you to buy, the core game. So they make sure,
Right, which is why, like, the battling super simplified. Like, the adventuring is just GPS, right? Like, if they just ripped like Pokemon Let's Go and put it on phones, then how many people would bother to play like Ultra Sun and Moon, right? So
well, I mean, they can do like Fire Emblem Heroes, where Fire Emblem Heroes is pretty much the same basic mechanics as a Fire Emblem game. It's just smaller maps. Some of the mechanics are a little simplified, and there's not the huge overarching story. So I mean, it can just do pretty much the same thing for Mario Kart. Just make maybe the maps aren't as, because I think a lot of people play Mario Kart for
that's one way.
For like the super tight controls. I think the mobile controls would feel a lot looser, like a lot wider corners and stuff like that. So I think it wouldn't control the same, just wouldn't then as a typical Mario Kart game. Wouldn't be as many tracks as you're saying. Probably wouldn't be a big battle mode like Mario Kart 8 Deluxe has, stuff like that.
Yeah, there might not be any drifting mechanics too, or like it'll all be automatic, right? And what I kind of see what you're saying.
More basic drifting.
Yeah, they'll keep it light.
Yeah, it would still probably play like Mario Kart, but like I guess like a stripped down version of it, right? So that makes sense. So let's move on though. Unless there's anything else you want to sort of add in regards to Dragalia Lost.
I guess I'm looking forward to see how it plays, and we gotta get a team together and run some dungeons, guys.
Yeah, they have
put that on the list for all the other multiplayer games we have to play together.
Right.
Splatoon, Fortnite, Monster Hunter, the list goes. WoW. Yeah. Well, actually, let's see what you guys. Oh God. I don't know if you guys can't see what I just did, but it looks bad from here. So we're good. We're good. I hope. I hope we're good. Well, I just want to check the chat what you guys are saying. A Mario Kart RPG, Sabbath. I don't think that's the direction they're gonna go, but I wouldn't be opposed to it. So we'll see. It would be different, and if by being different though, it might make me more interested in the game. That's another thing to consider, right? Because like, why? For example, I don't really play Fire Emblem Heroes because if I'm going to play a Fire Emblem game, I'd rather invest myself in a real Fire Emblem game. So, there's that argument to be made as well. So, like, I kind of see how, like, if they did something different, there would be an option there. But I think it'll be closer to what you're saying, Brandon, in terms of how it'll play, like basically like a simplified version. So yeah, let's move on though. Unless there's, yeah, we're good here, right? We have anything else to say about Dragalia Lost until September 27th?
I'm good, bro.
I'm good.
Cool. So, No More Heroes, and when I say No More Heroes, I mean Travis Strikes Back, right? So that game apparently was delayed, and Soda51 had a very interesting comment in regards to that. So I have the quote right here. So this is what Suda51 said when she was questioned by Destructoid as to why Travis Strikes Back No More Heroes was delayed till 2019. This is what he had to say. So as you know, Super Smash Bros. Is coming out in December. I'd feel really bad about impacting their sales negatively. I'll give them a break and move it over into next year. So, I mean, one, obviously, I think most people understand that No More Heroes is not going to impact the sales of Smash Bros. That's not going to happen, right? It's obviously a joke. And Suda51's always a joking man, right? So just check out his Twitter. He'll probably block you. But, you know, like, it's an interesting quote, and I wonder... It just makes me think. What if Travis Touchdown makes it into Smash Brothers? Like, that's just maybe it's too much to think. But No More Heroes has a history on Nintendo systems, right? And Suda51, you know, like I feel like I wonder if there's more to this than just meets the eye. Maybe I'm over speculating here. What do you guys think? Do you guys think there's something more to this, or is this just Suda51 being a joker?
I think he was just joking myself. If anything, they probably told him to push it back.
It's like, yeah, this is gonna screw over your game, man.
Like, guys, maybe putting this game the same day as Smash isn't the best idea. Might get trampled on.
Right, yeah. Like the December time frame probably just is not a good time frame for it. So yeah, I think early 2019 probably makes more sense for that game. But how cool would it be? I feel like, you know, if there's maybe if not this Smash Bros, but someday I think Travis Touchdown could make it into a Smash Bros game, because No More Heroes is only on Nintendo systems. Like, did they ever port No More Heroes 1 or 2 to the other systems?
I think the 360 got a port. I don't quite. I think 360 did get a port of the first one, if I remember. I could be wrong about that, but I remember looking it up and seeing that it was also on the 360. Yeah, but I'm not completely sure about that.
Yeah. Well, regardless, I mean, there still were at least timed exclusives, right? So, and there are other characters in Smash that aren't really too much on Nintendo, like Snake or Cloud, right? So, you know, but I feel like I'm just saying, like, I could see Travis Touchdown someday making it in. Maybe if it's not for Smash Ultimate, the next one, however long from now that is. But I just thought it was kind of interesting to sort of bring up. You know, because, well, one, No More Heroes is really cool, but do you think, like, because this is not actually No More Heroes 3, right? This is kind of like a spin-off indie-ish title. Are you guys even excited about this game?
No. I don't have any past experience with No More Heroes. Never played any of the games, and looking at No More Heroes, Travis Strikes Back doesn't look that interesting to me. I'm not interested because we haven't seen much of it. So, like, if I don't know anything about the series, I haven't really seen much gameplay of it, if there is even any gameplay of it. I think there's just screenshots as far as I've seen. So there's not really anything for me to get excited about, because there's nothing to see.
You know, it'd be a really good HD port. No More Heroes 1 and 2.
Yeah. I'd check it out.
And they're cel-shaded games, so, like, if you just update the lighting engine and, like, it would kind of like Wind Waker HD, it could really stand out and look beautiful in HD. Yeah, and using and mapping the controls to the Joy-Cons, dude, they could. I think No More Heroes 1 and 2 as HD, like, remasters or whatever, put it on the Switch would work out really, really well. Right. I want that really bad, actually. Not now. I'm gonna have to start tweeting to convince them. But is there anything else we want to add in regards to No More Heroes before we move on to the really juicy rumors and leaks and such? Nope, we're good. Okay, cool. Let me see what you guys are saying in the chat though before we move on. No more hoes. That's you got it. You got that, Samus64. Well, see, the reason you don't care about No More Heroes, Snowman, is because they haven't released those HD ports that I'm talking about. When those come out, you might change your tune. Maybe.
Or you might want No More Heroes 3.
Yeah. Spoiler alert, because I saw someone talking about it. I don't think Rayman has been deconfirmed because of the Brawlhalla announcement. But we're gonna talk about that because that's sort of a conversation that's been coming up. But we'll get to that topic. Actually, we could talk about that now since I brought it up. I can move the topic order. I can do that. I have the technology. I have the technology.
We have the power.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can do that. Is it possible? Can I move the topic up and just talk about this one now? Is it possible? Maybe. Maybe not. I don't know. It depends how quickly I can copy and paste. Alright. There we go. So now we're talking about the Rayman topic. So, Rayman, people are talking about how Rayman might not make it into Smash Bros. Ultimate because basically he was announced to be in Brawlhalla, and I'm gonna tell you straight up, I don't think this deconfirms him at all. I just think this is just him being in another game. Heck, Shovel Knight's been in a whole bunch of fighting games. That doesn't mean he didn't make it into Smash Bros. He did, just not as a fighter, as an assist trophy. So you know, Rayman, I think this doesn't say anything in my opinion. Did you guys disagree, or do you have any other views on this topic?
Yeah, I don't think it changes because they've known it behind the scenes for a while. So I mean, it's new to us, but it's probably been going on behind the scenes. So that, like everything's already been set in stone, pretty much. Yeah, like it. I mean, if Rayman was gonna make it into the game, they probably talked about this a couple of years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But on that subject, though, do you think Rayman's gonna make it into Smash Brothers?
I personally predicted that he will, and I think I stand by that, because isn't Brawlhalla an indie game? I don't think an indie game, what characters get into an indie game is really gonna, you know, impact what characters get into Smash. Like, that's just not how that works. So, I mean, I think he has a good chance getting in. He's a pretty long history with Nintendo, and like people really like him. Like, he kind of exploded in popularity in the Smash community after Artsy Omni, I think it was, made that leak for him in Smash Wii U. So people have been really kind of hyped for Rayman ever since that, and before that, obviously. Yeah. But yeah, that just shot him up super high in the popularity for that. So, and I mean, he's kind of a classic, you know, character now. He's been here for a long time, and he's been on a lot of Nintendo consoles. So I think he has a shot of getting in. Is there any other character that isn't in a confirmed for Smash Bros. Already that's a third-party character that has a long history, you know, with the publisher? Like Square has their representatives, Capcom has representatives, Sega has representatives, Namco has representatives, right? Like Ubisoft is kind of like the odd, even Konami, right? Even with all their controversy, has the representatives, right? But Ubisoft doesn't. Now, there is a distinct difference between all these other companies and Ubisoft. Ubisoft is European-based, right? They start off in Europe. All these others are Japanese-based. So that there is that difference, right? And that could be one reason why Rayman hasn't made it in yet. But excluding that, like, Rayman has a long history as a video game icon, and like, who, like, aside from the rabbits, who else would Ubisoft even want in Smash Brothers, right? Like, yeah, I don't know. And on top of that, like, Ubisoft has supported Nintendo better than some of these other Japanese companies. Right.
Yeah, they have, yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of my thing. It's like, Ubisoft was there, man. They were there even through the Wii U. They were there. It's just like, for them not to have a character in Smash is so weird. And Rayman's been on more Nintendo systems. Like, he's had, like, you know, he had Rayman Raving Rabbids and stuff on the Wii. Like, he's had, like, Nintendo-only games. You know? So, and at one point, there was that actual Rayman game that was coming to the Wii U, which was initially just going to be a Wii U exclusive. Right? And we know how that all turned out, right? It came out after. It was delayed, then it came on the other systems, and then it was ridiculous. But regardless, you know, Rayman has a long history in video games and Nintendo. So I feel like
he should be in the game for those reasons, right? At least compared to the other like video game icons. I'm just me speaking personally though. I'm not as excited about Rayman as a character because I don't know. Like for example, I think Simon Belmont can do way cooler things. I think Cloud could do cooler things than Rayman. But I know Sakurai could get really creative and do some pretty cool stuff with Rayman. There's a lot to pull from. So actually, you know, now that I think about it, like my brain is like going back to even like the '90s games, right? So there's some interesting stuff they could come up with, but. So, do you think...
A Rayman stage would be so cool.
What if they, like, did it based off of some of the recent Rayman games?
That's like, Rayman Legends, right?
Yeah. Like,
Yeah,
what
that's
is
what I'm
that
thinking,
art
yeah.
style? That'd be interesting.
I like that one.
Yeah, that one's great.
Even if what if they made it, like, music-based, too? That'd be kind of cool.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Those music levels are awesome. I love those in Rayman Legends, so that would be really cool. Yeah, he has a long history. Ubisoft, that's pretty much their only, as you were saying, their only representative that they could really put in there. I mean, they have Assassin's Creed, but there's no one Assassin's Creed character or one even super popular one. Like, the main character is usually kind of just forgotten in Assassin's Creed.
Well, there's
Well, they could get one
Prince
of their...
of Persia.
Yeah.
It's too old for you? Too old for you? Prince of Persia?
No, I know who Prince of Persia is. Shut up. They could put him in there.
No, I think it's Rayman. I don't really think there's any other answer. You know, so...
Honestly, I forgot they had that IP.
But is Rayman a DLC kind of character, or is he a base roster kind of character? What do you guys think?
DLC.
Did you say DLC or did you say we'll see?
No, DLC.
DLC. And see, that's the thing, right? Because Rayman's the kind of character that I think would sell really well as DLC, because he has that popularity, right? He doesn't need to come into base roster to bring in more people. He can sell on his own. And like if you think about for the Wii U, we had a couple key third-party characters that came in as DLC, right? Like Ryu and Cloud. So you know, then yeah, that he makes sense as a DLC character. And actually, based off my original predictions for Smash Brothers, I agree with you that Rayman would come in as DLC.
Yeah, I am kind of leaning towards DLC as well. I think he could get in as the main cast, but I think he'll probably be DLC.
Yeah. So let's see what you guys in the chat say. Or is there anything else we want to add in regards to Rayman? We haven't talked too much about Rabbids actually.
I mean, Rabbids, because especially with the last iteration with Mario Rabbids, that was just so great and wonderful and beautiful and enjoying.
Yeah.
It won an award, and I think that they're characters that people like.
Yeah, I think they could get in as an assist trophy.
I don't think the Rabbids should be like their own fighter. They could be an assist trophy, right? Actually, when I think about it, my initial prediction for Rayman is that Rayman and Rabbids would be together as a character, actually. Yeah, I like my combo characters. Well, technically, Rabbids were introduced in a Rayman game. Like they came, like Rayman Raving Rabbids. Like that was there. I think that was the original game for the Rabbids, and they sort of took off as their own thing. But like, they could even maybe they could still make a Rabbid as like an assist trophy, right? Or maybe a part of like the background in a Rayman stage. But maybe one of Rayman's moves, like kind of like King Dedede, how he throws like actual minions. Like maybe Rayman could pull out a Rabbid from his hat.
Oh, that'd be cool.
You guys aren't laughing. Rabbit out of the hat.
I got the joke.
I see what you did there.
Yeah. So,
I think it would be cool though to get the Rabbids from, as you were saying, Mario Rabbids, Mars. So I think they could get everybody seems to love Rabbid Peach. She should just be an assist trophy. Just her.
Oh yeah, I see that.
Taking snapshots, blinding people.
Oh, dude, that'd be interesting.
She
just grabs you and holds you and takes a selfie with you. You can't move.
Be interesting. I wouldn't mind it. Yeah, as long as it's not like the Nintendo where it just covers the whole screen. I hate that assist trophy.
Oh my god,
it's the worst assist trophy. I really don't like it. It's a cute dog though, but no, it's covering the screen. I'm not a fan of that assist trophy. Oh, actually, Turvin Abachi said Phantom Rabbit as a boss. That's an interesting idea. Because I do think we've gotten a lot of hints that like this Smash Bros is gonna have like an emphasis on bosses, right? Like there seems to be an emphasis on like enemies and stuff, and we know we already have the Rathalos boss, the Dracula boss, right? They showed King K. Rool as, you know, the main antagonist from Donkey Kong, and they showed Ridley, and there's the motif here of like villains, like good guys versus bad guys playing here, and like they might have an emphasis on having more bosses. So yeah, maybe they could pull a boss from the Rabbids. That would be an interesting idea.
Like Rabbid DK or something.
Dude, you'd be huge. Maybe. I think there's definitely some potential there.
Yeah.
But let's move on. I wanna jump into some more stuff. But we may come back talking about Rayman and Rabbids at some point. I just realized that there we go. So, the next topic being a Direct. So, there are a lot of rumors going around talking about Nintendo Directs, right? I made a video on Friday just talking about how it would make sense for there to be a Direct in September. Not even necessarily about rumors, but there are also rumors talking about a Direct happening really soon. Some have talked about within the first 2 weeks, right? There's even a particular talking about a Nintendo Direct happening this Thursday on the 6th. Which would mean, since it wasn't announced today, it would probably be announced tomorrow, if it's happening. So, do you guys think we're getting a Nintendo Direct this week?
Yeah. I mean, it can happen. I don't think it's a far-fetched idea.
Or Thursday, for sure. What?
I don't think it's a far-fetched idea. They're going to announce it tomorrow. Tomorrow's Wednesday. You know, then there's a Direct Thursday. Then, you know, get the Direct Thursday night at midnight.
Yeah. I don't know. I definitely think it could happen this week.
It's got to happen. If the online services, it's got to happen before the online services. I know that.
Oh yeah, I think so too.
The online services have to come out. They can't do the online service on September 30th. That can't happen either. So it almost forces them to have it on Thursday. You have it on Thursday. You talk about whatever you're going to talk about, plus the online services. That'll give you a week and some change to get online services, like get all that information out there, and then you launch online services, all in September.
That's a lot to do, so the Direct probably should happen early on. That's a good point. That makes a lot of sense. Wow.
Yeah, I think it's possible.
I like a Direct happening next week. Personally, I like the idea of happening then. Mainly because the Torna DLC comes out the 14th, and I feel like the timing of that would fit better. Actually, if we do the math, come on, let's see. This Thursday's the 6th.
Let's see what the calendar says.
Oh yeah, perfect timing actually. So the Nintendo, if there were to be a Nintendo Direct next week, it would most likely happen on a Thursday, which is the 13th. And guess what is the next day? The 14th, which is the day the Torn of the Golden Country DLC comes out. Right.
That would actually fit from my predictions early August, because I said the same thing. Because last year it was actually on the 12th. I think the 12th or the 14th one. The one day like right next to it actually happened to be a Thursday. Last year when it happened, so I was like, oh, maybe it'll happen, you know, the second Thursday of this year for September. So that would fit with my prediction from way back when.
Yeah. I made a very similar prediction with my video last Friday about the September Nintendo Direct. Like, it makes sense for them, since the Torn of Golden Country DLC is coming out on the 14th, right? That it would make sense to start off the Direct talking about Xenoblade Chronicles 2, and they could use this as one final push for that, like, you know, the Xenoblade expansion, and it makes sense timing wise. And then they could be like, hey, right after this, go check out the Golden Country, or at midnight, you know, download the game or whatever, right? That makes a lot of sense. And since we're on the subject of Xenoblade Chronicles 2, right, I also mentioned that if we're gonna get Rex and Pyra in the base roster, if we're gonna get them, I think the time to talk about Rex and Pyra for Smash Brothers is during this Nintendo Direct that's highlighting the Torn of Golden Country DLC. Like, they could even start off the Direct with a Smash Bros. Character reveal of Rex and Pyra, or some sort of Xenoblade Chronicles 2 character, and then jump into the Torn of Golden Country DLC, all right before the day it all comes out. That would make sense. So, my prediction right now, right? Just to make things clear, is that while I do think there's a chance Rex and Pyre can make it into the base roster, I also understand there's a good chance they could be a DLC because, you know, they're pretty new, right? If they're not shown off at this supposed Nintendo Direct this month, then I don't think they're coming out until DLC. That's my prediction.
Yeah, I'd agree. This is like the perfect time.
Yeah, like if you don't show them with the Torn Golden Country DLC, I don't. Yeah, I just think that, you know, the timing's just not right there. It'll be later on. What do you think, Mars? Are you on the same frame of mind? Do you even think Rex and Pyre have a shot at all, or what do you think?
I think yeah, I do. Just because how successful it's been, and everybody being behind it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sakurai really. I think Sakurai. Yeah. Sakurai said he really enjoyed Xenoblade Chronicles too. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, he spent his entire vacation playing the game. His entire vacation.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, but at the same time, right, like the plans for Smash Bros. Were made back in 2015. Mm-hmm. So while I made a video arguing Rex and Pyre yesterday Sunday, right? So, and I was debating, I make it, and even though they made plans back in 2015, I think they could, but again, like, there's so many other factors involved, right? And so I feel like if they don't show them off now in September for this Direct with a Torn Golden Country, like that's it. They're not making it until there's DLC. So
yeah, that would make sense. I mean, I could see them doing it Direct this Thursday though, just because it'd be like really close.
Yeah,
like
it might. Tough.
Well, it doesn't have to be the 13th. It could be this Thursday too, right?
Right.
I like the idea of having the Direct showing off the Torn Golden Country one more time, right the day right before, because you know how they like to do that thing, especially with like digital stuff only games, where like, hey, download this right after the Direct, right? So, you know, they do that with a lot of stuff, right? So it makes sense to me, but you know, they could still do it on this Thursday. It wouldn't change too much.
Yeah, because I think if they do it this Thursday, and then 2 weeks from Thursday, you get online services. That gives people, because you know some of these kids, they're not gonna, they got to rally their parents to buy them online services. So they give you 2 weeks to rally to get online services, because you can't do online services like, all right, now go get online services after Direct. If not, you can't get online. You know, that'll be harsh. And but Victory brings up a good point. Splatoon also didn't get its first of the month update, and they're probably waiting on online services to give it its updates for the maps and the guns and all that.
So the earlier the better, then.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, see, I could see it going either way, just because they both make so much sense. It's hard to say, but I do think, you know what? I think it's gonna be one of these Thursdays, though. I do think that's the time period. It's like either this Thursday or next Thursday. I don't think they're gonna wait any longer than that. Like, it's one of those 2 dates.
Especially if this is a Direct, it's like a big Direct, right? That's showing the online, like you said, like the online plans, maybe announcing any other games they have planned for the rest of the year, like this rumored Mario Bros. Game, like the game we're all praying for, Metroid Prime Trilogy HD, but
please.
I'm putting that like in the 10-20% confidence ratio at this point, because as much as I want it, and it makes sense, it's just, I hope it happens, but I'm not super confident about it. But like, you know, all these different games, and then also showcasing the third-party games like Diablo and Doom Eternal, like the earlier the better.
They got to get their it's got to be like a 30 to 45 minute Direct, and it has to display all the holiday games to buy for Christmas. It has to display the Direct, or not the Direct, the online services, and then get Smash in there too.
Yeah,
I mean, it's all order. It's gonna be it's got to be one of the bigger Directs.
Yeah, I keep hearing rumors that it's gonna be like 40 minutes long. So, I definitely think they're gonna have a lot to talk about, because they gotta show us why this holiday isn't gonna suck.
Yeah.
Because right now it's not. I mean, it doesn't suck right now because you got Smash, you got Pokemon, you got Mario Party, so it's like decent. But I mean, it's not amazing, especially when all the other companies have, you know, like Spider-Man and stuff going for them, and it's just like, I
think the big bad wolf right now is Red Dead Redemption, and
that's
so a lot of people may be scared of that one.
Yeah.
It's hard. They gotta fit some games in here, because we only got, we don't got anything for this month, so I mean, there's the Torna DLC, but that's DLC. That's not a new game. I mean, it kind of is because there's packaging as its own thing, but it's like it's weird. It's like a weird hybrid thing. So
Brandon,
that's not. Yeah.
Brandon, so you just said that there's no game this month, right? You see, that was 100% different last year. There was a big game every single month for the Switch. So y'all, I mean, it goes back to what y'all were saying earlier, like, it's dead space that for us to talk about where's the online services and like really to dog it out if it's not good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I talked about in my September Direct video about the potential of them announcing Mario Kart 8 Deluxe DLC at this Direct and using this DLC as a way to get people on board with the online service and having it kind of being like a day one thing.
Right.
The DLC comes out the same day as the online packaging, so maybe even if you get the DLC, you get it along with a free trial period or something along those lines for the online service. Like they package it together to use Mario Kart to really push that online service. Because we've had a free updates for Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, like with the Link, you know, adding in Breath of the Wild Link and the Labo. So I feel like they are building it for DLC for Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. What do you guys think about that? Do you guys think that it makes sense for them to announce DLC for Mario Kart and package it in with the online service this month, or do you guys think that's not likely?
That would be genius because Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is continually selling like a lot of copies. Like it has a huge install base right now. Over 10 million people have this game, but also at the same time, it's kind of getting a little stale for me. Like when I stream it, I kind of get bored after like an hour and a half, 2 hours of playing the game. I'm just kind of like, okay, kind of want to move on, not play this game for a few weeks. And I think a lot of people are getting that same kind of mood where it's just like, okay, I've played this game for, over a year. I think, about a year and a half or so. And they haven't really added much more than, a vehicle or in a skin for, Link and a few things like that. They need something to really push that game because it's still selling. It still has a lot of potential. But I think the online community isn't as big as it was. Launch and stuff, and I think they need a big boost for that. Although I think a lot of people who play that game would just be like, okay, well, it's Like, I don't need to pay $20 a year to play Mario Kart 8 online.
Yeah,
for a year and a half.
Now, if they introduce a whole new circuit and all that, that'll probably be the only way.
Yeah.
Be really cool. Like, I think it makes sense to encourage people by offering, hey, there's actual game, like free game stuff that you can get. And one thing I want to talk about is so when they showed off the the online details, right, when you get the online service, they mentioned you can get like discounts and stuff if you have the online service. And that thing is really interesting to me. Like, what if like you have discounts, and that means that you can save 20% off games on the eShop or like Nintendo published games. How cool would that be? Especially now that like Best Buy and Amazon are cutting off their discount services.
Yeah, I was thinking that today. So if you take what you just said, if you get the discounts because of being on the online situation, on top of adding your gold coins, I got a ton of gold coins. You may get a good discount if you can combine them.
Yeah, it'd be really that'd be really cool actually. So I'm just curious to see how it is. 'Cause I'm just throwing 20% out the door, right? Maybe it's like 0.1%, right? Which is nothing. It's like a penny. But like, we kind of have to wait and see what it is. But because if they offer like a significant discount, like that alone would make it worth it for me, right? Mm-hmm. Or if they turn this retro sort of online game service into something that's more than just a few NES games, like if it was some Super Nintendo games, some N64 games, then I'm like, hey, $20 a year? No problem. You got me on board, right? And maybe they'll have to build up to that, and maybe at first they do things like maybe like a Mario Kart 8 DLC sort of packaging, right? But as they can sort of develop their infrastructure, they can offer better deals, more retro games to make it more interesting for people.
Right. And there was this rumor, I'm not sure if we're going to be talking about it later in this discussion or not, but I think it just came out, but that you're going to get like 10% off of all digital like new games, and you get like 30% off if they're like on sale or something like that, and there was going to be like free like special indie games that you could play for free and stuff. So there was going to be some other stuff. According to this rumor, of course, it could become completely false. But judging from that, like 10% off you know, new games, that's not that bad. So
I'm just seeing from Victory 19. This is a leak that he's talking about that I have not seen the source for, right? So if you guys have a source, you can tell me where I can find it. I can pull it up. But he's saying that according to some leak, right, that subscribers will receive an extra 30% off sale items and 10% off regularly priced items in the eShop.
Yep, that's what I was. That's the one I was talking about.
That would be fantastic. So, for example, what game is selling for? It's a Metroidvania game that Axiom Verge is selling for currently $10. It's on sale. So if you have the online service, instead of it's already been slashed in half in terms of pricing. So instead of $20, it's $10. So additional 30% off. If it's actually extra, like stacked, then I guess that would mean to be $7, right? Which would be amazing, right? And then 10% off games like, say, for example, Breath of the Wild, $60 on the eShop, you save $6. That's good. That's kind of like the whole Amazon thing. Yeah. Maybe that's why they're cutting out those services, because they also know ahead of time that Nintendo's going to do something that would kind of bastardize their advantages. Or is there another? Were we given a reason as to why? Do you guys know why Amazon and Best Buy cut out those services?
Yeah, Best Buy I think was losing money because people weren't buying things when they came in as much as they thought, and then Amazon was just like, well, if they're not going to do it, why even compete?
Well, yeah, the only reason Amazon had it was because Best Buy, you know, when they launched it, then Amazon did theirs. But the thing, when I remember when Best Buy first announced it, they always said it wouldn't be a forever thing. They were like, you know, to be, you know, for however long, but it's not forever. So it was trying to get people to sign up while they could.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, luckily I got into that, and I mean, 10% off digital. It'd be nice once my 20% off gets cut off. Because I don't have mine till like next November, I think, when mine ends. So for me, I'll probably still stick with the physical games because I get them 20% off. But you know, a lot of people just they found out about the deal too late. So 10% off. I mean, that's good, especially when you get all the other stuff already. You get the free NES games and stuff. You get, you know, all this other stuff that's coming with it. And I already think, even with just the free retro games, for me personally, it's worth it. Like that makes up for it.
I'm more excited about this rumored 10% off, to be honest with you. I'm pretty excited about that. If that's legit, I'm pretty excited about it. I'll go out and buy myself a 256 gigabyte micro SD card and just never buy a cartridge game again. Yeah. Actually, that's a whole other ethical debate. We'll save that for another podcast. So, let's move a little bit past this. I guess the online service itself. Unless there's anything else you guys want to add to that, in regards to, you think is there anything more you guys want to say to that regard, excluding the discount that I really want?
Nah, man, I think it's stacking up to be good. So
we talked about the videos on demand. Right, so if this is going to be like a big direct where they're going to show off their, holiday launch, do you think that maybe we could hear about videos on demand, like, during this direct?
Yeah, I think you almost have to, like, Netflix, now here, go watch, Yeah,
and it doesn't have to be a long announcement, just be like, maybe they even create update, like, there's going to be a videos on demand tab where all of the, like, Hulu, like, everything's, like, put into one area you can sort of check. Like, that would be great, actually, because the way the Switch's operating system is, the way you navigate, if there was like 6 different apps that I would use, I would like it if they were to organize it all into one like folder.
Yeah, they should just add folders. So you make your own folders.
Actually, that's a good point. Folders would work. That's something that. But we just get like a really recent like Switch update? We did, right?
Oh, 6.0.0 was that an update?
Yeah.
Yeah, but it didn't add much. Most of it was, I think they added. I remember seeing a leak for it, but I don't know what they actually added. So, yeah, but there was a leak that said they were going to.
Switch lately because I've been letting him play Fortnite on it, so I haven't really been using the Switch.
They said, from what I saw in the leak, and it seemed like legit. So, like somebody data mined. Somehow they got. They put it in or into the code early for the 6.0 update, and so somebody data mined it, and apparently there was Like, you can hook up your NES Classic controllers to the Switch and use those for like NES games that are gonna be for the online NES games that are coming and stuff. So
That's what's
re-jog my memory. Yeah, it'd be pretty.
Other than that, it was mostly just like anti-hack stuff.
Yeah, as usual.
So then, I guess the reason I sort of raised that question though is we just got an update. Are we going to get another significant update like this week or next week, or would they maybe? Because I feel like some of these things.
Is 6.0 out yet? Is 6.0 actually out? Because all I saw was that it was like there was a leak, but I don't know if it actually released yet.
Like I said, my brother's been hogging my Nintendo Switch, so I can't check. So, I don't know, but it's coming out soon. We know I feel like it's already out because I did see a video from Gamix, but it has to be out already. I'm sure someone in the chat will be like, "Yep, it's out." Maybe.
Maybe that video might have been them talking about the leak as well.
Yeah. Oh yeah, a lot of people. It sparked a lot of.
That's true. That's true. It might have been a leak. That's true.
I can look it up. Let's see. Switch date 6.0.0.
Well, we have 34 people watching. Damn, we got a lot of people watching today, guys. It's really cool.
What's up, 34 people?
All I'm saying is that it's set to come out. People haven't talked about it for a few days, and
see, man, all this stuff is lined up, man.
William Harrison wants Thanos.
Oh, it's currently set to go live in the second half of September. Oh, I forgot one of the features. It's coming out the same day as the Switch Online. I forgot about that.
Oh,
because the update is adding Switch Online support. So
there we go. There we go. Now we're
second half, huh?
Interesting. Second half, right after week 2, right after Thursday the 13th, right after the Torna Golden Country DLC comes out on the 14th. I don't know. I feel like a second week of September makes a lot of sense to me. Just saying. But it can still happen tomorrow. I mean Thursday. That could happen.
Yeah, Thursday at midnight.
At midnight.
Yeah.
Gosh,
for whatever reason.
Yeah, dude, why was Dragalia Lost so late? That Dragalia Lost Trek was so freaking late. I was like, what are they doing?
So yeah, I watched it the next day and it was okay. Actually, I didn't even watch the whole thing until recently. I only watched like pieces of it. And the Indies Direct was also kind of boring for me. I fell asleep during it.
Indies Direct, man.
So when we were talking about Shovel Knight earlier, and you were like, "Oh yeah," but they didn't even announce the Shovel Knight stuff during the Indies Direct. I didn't even know that because I fell asleep through it. I was like, "Oh, they must have." Right. And I saw the Shovel Knight update like later on Twitter. I was like, "Oh, they must have shown that off." When I fell asleep, no, wasn't in there.
Yeah, I don't. What were they doing with the Indies stuff? They had like this weird European only thing, and then they. Had the Nintendo Direct worldwide, and then they just announced like all the biggest stuff outside of the Indies Direct, like all the stuff people actually cared about. Why? I'm confused. It was weird. Yeah, that was pretty boring.
I think they're just kind of getting all the small stuff out of the way, right? They're getting mobile announcements out of the way, getting the Indies out of the way. So hopefully we're getting. I don't want to, because I remember going into E3. We were kind of hyping things. Everyone was like, "Oh, this is gonna be the biggest, best E3 ever," and we were all sorely disappointed. So I don't want to be like, "Oh, this Direct is gonna be the Direct of Directs, where we're gonna see Animal Crossing and Pikmin 4."
Yeah, I don't think it'll be that.
I don't think it's gonna be that. Like,
I think we know most of what's gonna happen. I don't think most of this stuff is a secret. We know there'll be Smash stuff. That's not a secret. They'll talk about the online service. That's not a secret. They'll talk about like Mario Party, even though they talked about Mario, but like how Brandon was saying in that European one, there was one where they weren't even speaking English, and I was watching it. But so they've covered Mario Party a good amount.
Yeah, they released that trailer.
The craziest thing that they could do, that people are talking about, myself included, that has a good chance of not happening, is Metroid Prime Trilogy HD, right? Like that's like, and that's not that crazy. That's just. Basically like a Twilight Princess HD, but for Metroid. Like, that's not that crazy. That's pretty relatively easy to accomplish. They could do that in less than 6 months. Okay, maybe not in less than 6 months, because it is 3 games. So, but, it could be done in a year. right? Like you put it, you give it to outsource it to a team that's not even that big. They could get that ready in a year because it's not like they're remaking the game. They're just enhancing what's already there. Yeah. So that's probably the craziest thing that people are talking about. I've been talking about maybe Mario Kart 8 DLC or Super Mario Odyssey DLC, but both those games have been getting free updates all throughout the year. Why would they be doing free updates for these games? What like business model would, I mean, you could make the argument that it's just to keep interest in them so people continue to buy those games, but I don't think free DLC updates really move
nobody's buying
the dial to
Mario Kart 8 DLC because, or Mario Kart, they're nobody's buying Mario Kart 8 Deluxe because they put Breath of the Wild in there. Like maybe a few people, but like nobody bought Mario Odyssey because there's this Luigi balloon mode. Like what?
Oh, I did. No, I'm just kidding. I got it day one. I got Mario Odyssey day one. Actually, did I? What day did Mario Odyssey come out exactly? Because I think I got it for my birthday.
Like the 28th?
Because my birthday is October 29th.
I'm pretty sure it came out the 28th.
Came out the 27th.
Oh, well.
Okay, so I got it. I definitely got it day one, but it was like my birthday weekend, so I was pretty happy. But yeah, so you know, I just want to stress, guys, let's not expect this Nintendo Direct to show a teaser trailer for Metroid Prime 4, show off, you know, Breath of the Wild 2, Half-Life 3, like, or nothing like that. I don't expect this Direct to talk about games coming out in 2019. Like, they might show a couple things, right? They might, but this is more about this holiday season.
I look at it as it's more like an advertisement.
Right. Yeah. There's been people saying they're going to talk about Bayonetta 3 coming out in April. It's like, no, they're not. They're not going to talk about that.
Well, probably not.
That's not happening.
No, I think it's more likely that we're going to get like either a December or January Direct where they'll be like, hey, this is what we have planned for 2019, right? And you know, when I think about it, we kind of assumed that there would be a big Direct at the beginning of 2018. At that point, we still believed that we would get maybe Metroid, Bayonetta, you know, Pokemon, like a real Pokemon game, a Fire Emblem, and Yoshi, and none of that has happened this year, right? But initially, we all thought we all kind of thought we would see all of that this year, and we never got that big Direct, at least in the beginning of the year. So maybe that's why we didn't get a big Direct in the beginning of the year, because there wasn't too much to show off. But now for 2019, since we had this slow 2018, which was just port heavy, right? I think we may get a big Direct come December, January, where they do show off maybe Animal Crossing or Pikmin 4 or Metroid and things along those lines. Like, that might happen then.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of big spring games coming out in 2019 compared to 2018, so...
I mean, we know for sure that they have to talk, eventually they have to talk about Yoshi, Daemon X Machina, and Fire Emblem. Like, those are games that...
They're all slated for spring, I think.
Yeah,
right?
so those are games that might get mentioned at this Direct, maybe, but I feel like it's more like a December,
it's too early,
January time that they should be talking about.
I think that's true.
Yeah. So, do we want to move into some of the more of the Smash stuff, or is there anything else you guys want to say in regards to the rumored Directs and such? Any Direct predictions?
It's hard to say. I think we're gonna get some kind of Wii U port or HD remake or something. Some kind of small game like a Metroid Prime Trilogy HD, or some people are saying New Super Mario Bros. Deluxe. I hope that's not the case. I hope it's like 3D World or something, or Mario Maker. But you know, something like that, like some kind of other smaller game to fill out the rest of the year.
A port or HD remaster, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. What do you think, Mars? Do you think we're gonna get any game announcements of any kind, or is it just gonna be updates on what we know about already?
I think I'm going with the updates. I think they'll. I think it'll just be a one big advertisement type of Direct, which would be fine.
Any DLC announcements even? Maybe no.
DLC. I actually like your Mario Kart because I think you gotta do something to entice spending that $20. Like, because some people are, I was talking to somebody today and they was like, I'm not paying $20 to play Turf Wars, and I can see them. I can understand
all this time.
Yeah, so I get what they were coming from. Like, I understand that.
Especially if you transition from Splatoon 1 to Splatoon 2 seamlessly. So you've been playing Turf War for free for like 5 years almost, right?
Yeah. So
Really?
like what you got, that was a great idea. Like they'll probably throw something to entice it on top of what we already know, because they got the basic like 20% or discounts and old remakes and all that. But now they got to add something to like, okay, also for $20 you get this. You didn't see that coming, did you?
Yeah, yeah. And I think it's like it's not so much that it's not a good value, because $20 is cheap. It's more about getting people to even bother to buy it the first time. Like, they can use the discounts, the online games, to keep people paying once they subscribed, right? But how do you get them on initially? Right, yeah, so, maybe we get a DLC for Mario Kart or something along those lines, hopefully, because I would love it. So, I guess we'll find out Thursday. No, we won't find out. I don't think this is going to happen on Thursday, but I'll gladly eat crow. Not literal crow, figurative crow, if it happens this Thursday, for sure. But I definitely think we're getting a direct this month.
Yeah, I think it's this Thursday or next Thursday.
Yeah, because, I mean, like we've talked about it. All the signs point towards the direct happening sooner than later, because they have the online service coming, all this different stuff. Like, it kind of has to. Yeah, so, I mean, it'd be pretty much to be this week or next week. That makes a lot of sense. So, yeah, let's, I think we're ready to move on, right?
Yeah.
Okay, let me see what you guys are saying in the chat before we move forward. I would love a Skyward Sword HD, Josh Sheriff.
Be amazing.
Yeah, and also Will Lovendahl, I would also love Odyssey DLC. I've been talking about that for a while. And yeah, Dragon Ball FighterZ is also coming out soon. That's a good point, Julio. All right, so let's move on to the next topic then. So, all right, so this is rumor territory. It's all rumor stuff, okay? Skull Kid. I'm actually working on a video for Skull Kid this week. Spoiler, so you'll see that sooner or later. But Skull Kid, people have been talking about him making Smash Brothers, right? He's been spoken about a lot recently, and apparently, Leaky Pandy, who's a leaker on Twitter, and she's got a lot of stuff wrong. Some things right, but a lot of stuff wrong. So I take this with a grain of salt. You should take it with a grain of salt, regardless. But
right.
She said that Skull Kid is not going to be a fighter. Skull Kid is just going to be a boss in Smash Bros. Ultimate. Because we've seen evidence suggesting that Skull Kid is not an assist trophy anymore, because we haven't seen Skull Kid as an assist trophy yet, but we got an assist trophy for the Moon instead. So it seems kind of weird to have just still, like, it seems like Skull Kid has gotten some sort of change. Right, either he's been demoted to nothing or just a trophy, or he's got an upgrade to a fighter, or maybe a boss, as Leaky Pandy is saying. So, Leaky Pandy's like sort of perspective here. That's my dog. Sorry, guys. Leaky Pandy is perspective. Like they're saying, oh, a lot of people are talking about Skull Kid making the game. We're just putting this information out there so you guys don't get too excited. Skull Kid is just a boss, right? So that is a little sobering to hear, but at the same time, it's the leaker who's not even that consistent with their information anyways, so I don't really know what to make of it. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I mean, it could happen. It could be a boss, but I don't feel like... I feel like they would have... I don't know. This doesn't make a lot of sense to me. A boss on what stage? Would it be like a new stage? Like, do they have a Clock Town stage? I don't know if that's a thing yet. I don't think so. I don't think they've made one of those stages, so maybe they could make a Clock Town stage and have
well, there's already a Majora's Mask stage in the game, because they're remaking the Melee stage from the Great Bay.
Oh, Great Bay, yeah. Yeah, but he wouldn't be in Great Bay. That would make sense.
I would love Clock Town, just saying. But I don't think they need to add one, because they have Great Bay.
I mean, if he's going to be a boss, I don't think it would make sense for him to show up in Great Bay.
Oh, well, if he has a boss stage, that'd be really cool.
Yeah, he'd have to have his own... He'd have to be in Clock Town. I think they'd have to make a new stage.
It would be really cool to see Clock Town. Yeah, that'd be really cool. Yeah.
So, I mean, I'd be fine with that if they show off Clock Town. He's a boss. Like, I'd be fine. Because I'm not, like, super, like, oh, Skull Kid has to make it into the game. But, yeah, I could see it happening. I don't really trust this person, because, I don't know much about him. But you say they are inconsistent, so
yeah,
I don't believe them, but I could definitely see it happen.
Yeah, just another note, Will Lovendahl pointed out, LOZ18 thinks that Skull Kid will make it to the game, and LOZ18, I have to double check everything that he said, but he said a lot of things about Smash that have come true, like Simon Belmont and Ridley. So,
yeah.
You know, I don't like pitting one leaguer against another, like as like the whole argument here, right? But I do think Skull Kid would make sense as a boss character, like that wouldn't be, because I do think there's something based off the information we have about Skull Kid. I do think it's saying something right about Skull Kid. I do think Skull Kid is getting some sort of change here.
Right.
A boss makes sense, but I would much prefer Skull Kid to be a fighter. Just saying. Like, that would be cool.
Right.
And here's the interesting thing about being a actual fighter. You can still take up events in an adventure mode, right? Like, what if you get to a point in the adventure mode where you have to fight Skull Kid, right? And it's still on Clock Tower. Like, it's still like that event. You know what I mean? Right? So, I don't... You know what I'm trying... You guys understand what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, I understand.
You can still make it an event as if it's kind of like a boss, but you still beat him and it becomes a character, right? Where you add him to your roster, kind of like in Subspace Emissary. So, you know, it'd be great if they could do both. And if you make Skull Kid a boss, then I feel like how much more work does it take to make them a fighter? There's definitely a lot of work, especially when it comes to balancing. But also, Skull Kid is not giant, right? That's another thing to sort of consider. Bosses in general, at least in Smash, like it makes sense for them when they're like big. Like bosses tend to be big in Smash Brothers. They're rarely just humanoid little structures. Sometimes, but for the most part, they're not, right? Can you guys think of like small bosses in Smash Brothers?
That's what I'm saying. That was the first thing when I came to mind was his size when you talked about being a boss.
Yeah, that's like, true. He's usually pretty big.
He's newcomer like roster fighter size. He's not.
He's actually pretty small. Like he's not a very big. Like Skull Kid's like the same size as Young Link, or maybe a little bit taller. But
now what they could do is
short.
At the end of Majora's Mask, when he turns into monster mask thing, then that's bigger.
Yeah,
then
but that's not really Skull Kid. That's just the mask.
Right, and actually. They could have both. They could have Skull Kid, and then they could have the mask as a boss.
Right.
They could do both.
I think Skull Kid's final smash would be cool if he if he went into that mode with the mask.
That is also a great option. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense too. So, I personally want Skull Kid as a fighter. I think he makes a lot of sense. I think it's time to get a new Legend of Zelda character. So, I want it to happen. But, I mean, at the same time, boss kind of makes sense, It makes sense, but he's not big, which is the weird thing. Right. But, like I said, they could just turn him into the whole monster thing. But then he's not really Skull Kid anymore, which is another interest, So,
it's...
I'm going to go with Skull Kid makes it in as a fighter. But I can see how he could easily not be. Yeah.
Yeah. I pretty much agree.
What do you think, Marzi? Are you on the same page?
I think he's got to be a fighter.
Yeah. Fingers crossed, guys. Because I would be a little disappointed. I'd be a little disappointed if Skull Kid was not a fighter. I'm gonna say that right now. I would be disappointed. Like my anticipation sort of raised for him.
It's so weird because I remember when we first brought him up weeks ago. You were like, he doesn't need to be in.
I don't remember that.
Your mind is completely changed.
Well, I've just been thinking about it. Dude, Ivan, when you guys see what I do this week, you understand, okay? Because I'm working on something, and I've just been really hyping up Majora's Mask in my head, and
it's just funny because when I first brought him up before the Smash Direct, I think you were like, "What moves could he possibly have?" And now you're just like, "Oh my gosh!"
I have zero recollection of this. Zero. I'm not denying. I'm just saying I don't remember. But yeah, like whatever it was in the past, I want him now. So, yeah, I definitely. I mean, we'll see what happens, but it'd be really cool. And actually, I remember we did talk about this, and I suggested that, hey, if they had issues with the moveset or if they had other ideas, they could incorporate some of the masks from Majora's Mask into his moveset.
Right.
Because Young Link
I think that's what really got you like, oh my gosh, he could be awesome.
Yeah, maybe that's what it was. That conversation, then it got my gears turning. So it would be so cool. But I don't know. Actually, here's another interesting character that. What about Impa? Impa would be a great echo for Sheik. Like, I feel like it has to happen. Like, it's too perfect of a fit for it to not happen. Especially because we have the new design of Impa from Hyrule Warriors.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I could see that happening. I'd welcome it.
But is it going to happen, though? Do you think it's going to happen, or just probably maybe...
I mean, if we're gonna get Skull Kid, that's a lot of Zelda representation. Yeah. A lot.
I want to point something out. If you count Pokemon Trainer's 3 Pokemon, there are 9 Pokemon characters.
Yeah.
9. How many Fire Emblem characters are there?
Too many.
How many? Give me a number.
I honestly don't know.
So, okay, so we got Marth, Roy, Ike, Lucina, Corrin, Chrom.
I know it's not as many. I think it's less than the amount of Pokemon.
That's 6. Am I missing one? I'm probably missing one.
Apparently, GG says it's 7. Sinjo says it's 7 as well. So you're probably missing one. I'm not sure who it is though.
Yeah, I don't know.
But yeah, I mean, how many Zelda characters do we have? We have Zelda, Sheik, 3 Links, and Ganondorf. That's all of them, right?
That's
so 6. So if we had Skull Kid, that's 7. So if we had Sheik Impa, sorry, on top of that, that's 8. How many Marios do we have? 2 Marios. We have Daisy and Peach, and then Bowser. We only have 5 Mario characters.
Well, if you count the Donkey Kong characters,
that's they don't count.
Yoshi's a Mario character.
Yeah.
And then there's Luigi. Luigi's a Mario character.
Oh yeah, I forgot
Mario's
about
a Mario character.
So there's a little bit more. I like 6.
The Mario characters have kind of branched out and become their own characters, right? But
yeah, it's weird. Because like Yoshi has his own games.
Yeah.
Donkey Kong has his own games.
Young Link has his own game. I'm just kidding. Well, he kind of does. Yeah. The title is the same though. So yeah.
Springman. Super Bosa Alodu. I'm probably not pronouncing that right. Sorry.
Let's jump into that Datamine roster. Did you find that link by any chance?
The link didn't. It did work, and I'm guessing they pulled the page because it just said 404 not found. And it worked before, because I actually got that straight from the site, so
I'm Googling like it's Datamine Gamescom roster.
I can go to my history and try to see if I can find it.
Smash, I should put Smash. I'm trying to Google this, guys. Okay, Smash Bros. There's a Smash Bros. Reddit.
It's on 4chan.
I don't see it. Anyway, I vaguely remember. Okay, I see it now. I have them. All right, so I think this is it. All right, now I'm just gonna quickly go over the list of characters. So apparently, someone at the Gamescom had some Datamine, the demo, which I find highly skeptical. Right, but I'm very skeptical of that. Like that is.
Right, I mentioned that in my video. I was like, wait, what?
That's the thing that's really, and on top of that, the fact that Nintendo would make it they know that people are gonna try and leak this game. Like it just, like maybe they did slip, but I'm just saying, like I feel like they'll be kind of careful about access to the demo. You know what I mean?
Also, how many people actually have access who are working with Sony? Like, can't be that many.
Who would be allowed to install it and see the files? Who would be given access to that? Like I feel like Nintendo would be super careful about who has access to that. They probably would give the demo in some sort of protected sort of format, so it wouldn't be so the files couldn't be so easily accessed, right? So that makes me highly skeptical of this rumor. But nevertheless, supposedly, which like I said, this is take it with a grain of salt, guys. But someone was able to data mine the demo supposedly, and this is the list. It has both newcomers and Echo Fighters. So I'm not even bothered to read the Japanese name or whatever alternate name because it confuses me, right? But you can. A lot of you have seen this already. But anyways, Banjo-Kazooie, okay? Bandana Waddle Dee, Incineroar, Chorus Kids, Geno, Rex and Pyra, all with Mithra as well, Isaac from Golden Sun, and Skull Kid. Okay? I love this list. I love this list.
Great list.
Yeah. Echo Fighters, Dixie Kong, makes sense. Felix from Golden Sun, right? Ken from Ryu. I guess I should say who they're echoing. Dixie echoing Diddy Kong. Felix echoing Isaac from Golden Sun. Ken echoing Ryu from Street Fighter. Shadow echoing Sonic, right? Isabelle echoing Villager. Gardevoir echoing Mewtwo. And those are the Echo Fighters. So obviously this list is wrong because it didn't include Impa. No, I'm just kidding. That's not why this list is wrong. It's kind of too convenient. That's another thing. It's too convenient in my opinion. But I love the list. Like, if this is the final additional characters, like Ultimate Smash Brothers, you got it. Like, this is like there'll be very few people that'll be upset unless you're an Impa fan. But
I mean, this is literally like, I don't think I'd add anything to this because Banjo was on this list, right? Like,
yeah, Banjo's on the list.
Yeah, Banjo, Rex and Pyra. There's Isaac. I mean, like, this is the perfect list. This is the dream list.
It's a dream list. Yeah, it's a dream.
I mean.
And
at
here's
the same time,
Smash Ultimate is kind of like a dream game. So
that's
you
what
can
I'm
say,
saying.
oh, it's too good to be true, but at the same time,
so is everything else they've shown
Smash
off.
Brothers. Yeah. So it's not so much that I don't think the list is close to what we'll actually get. It's more that the idea that the entire roster was leaked so early and so easily.
Yeah, that
is kind of too good to be true. Right, and I know Smash for Wii U, there were leaks that came out, like the ESRB and such, but like the ESRB is one thing, right? Like, they're given access to the game, like officially. Like, that makes sense. Like, how could someone, some random person at a Gamescom have such invasive access to the Smash demo?
Yeah, it's almost like James Bond, like undercover, like go get the game.
Yeah, it's oh my gosh, it's weird.
Yeah,
because like I don't quite understand what he's doing. By the way, like I tried to figure out like he says he's working on. I forget exactly what it is. He's like working on it for the developers menu or something for the demo, and I'm just like, what does that even mean? Like the way he words it is weird. It's like, what is your actual job? I don't know. Like, why are you not
making up posts on 4chan?
Yeah, it's like, what is this dude doing? And like, it almost makes him sound like he's making a demo version or doing something to help the like some parts of the demo, or it's weird. I don't know what he's doing.
In what universe do you get access to the game files to install a demo? I've never seen it. I've never hosted an event with a Nintendo Switch and I've seen how they implement demos. I don't know how that's done, right? But my entire life, I've never seen demos set up where someone who's at the demo station, who set up the demo station, needs to have a know-how about how to install the files from the source code. Right? Like, no, it's the packaging, the game's already there. The demo is there. You just put it into the game somehow. Like, that's it. Like, I don't know. It's too convenient.
Yeah, and it can't be a big team working on it. So even if you were working on this for some reason, you're gonna get caught pretty easily. Like,
that's somebody's job right there.
Yeah.
That is.
There's gotta be like a handful of people working on this. There's no way you're not gonna get caught.
Yeah. So I think we all agree that this rumor is probably not true, but I think a lot of these characters are basically all characters that are either highly requested or rumored, right? Yeah. Already. So that's the other thing. It's basically pulling information from what we all want.
Right.
But I guess let's just talk about it in terms of what we want, right? And this is the final topic, guys, by the way. So, if you guys have any sort of questions or topics you want us to get to, get ready to put them out. You can put it in chat now, actually, and we'll try to get to them before, we get to the 2-hour mark. Because, I try to keep these around 2 hours long. So, I didn't click it up. Let me see. There we go. So, Banjo-Kazooie. How do you guys feel about Banjo-Kazooie?
Yes.
I like Banjo-Kazooie.
I love Banjo-Kazooie.
Yes!
I've been predicting him for a while. I think it makes a lot of sense. Microsoft and the Rare team are definitely down to have Banjo-Kazooie in the game. I think Banjo-Kazooie is seen as a Nintendo character, right? Like he was born on the N64. He's synonymous with Nintendo, so the whole moniker "everyone is here" it fits for Banjo-Kazooie, right? And he could be unique, and he'd be super hype-worthy. I think Banjo-Kazooie is so hype-worthy that he would probably be the character that gets revealed last.
Yeah, he's the big boy.
Yeah. Because it's Nintendo working not only with a third-party developer, it's Nintendo working with Microsoft, who is a competitor, right? So what it says about the partnership, what it says about bringing someone back for Nintendo cut ties with, right? It's a big thing. So I feel like it would make the most sense to have them to be like the climax of the Smash hype cycle leading up to the release of the game, in my opinion.
The internet would explode.
Crash.
Just literally, you'd be like, "Oh, why is Google not working?"
Yeah.
Like, curse you, Smash fans!
Yeah, I would love it so much, but how do you guys feel about Bandana Waddle? I know people have been really hyped about him. He's really high up in the polls. Personally,
He doesn't need to be in the game.
I don't care for Bandana Waddle, but I know a lot of people like him, so I'm not gonna say, hey, you shouldn't get your character that you like.
Right.
Yeah,
But
that's true.
I just okay.
I mean, I wouldn't
guys,
be upset if he
guys,
got in, but
guys,
I don't think he needs to be in
for
Smash.
those who've been following me for a while and you've been paying attention to the Charmander bits, Charmander's name is Bandana Charmander. Did anyone realize where I got the naming idea from?
No.
Let me look. Bandana Bandana Charmander. Just putting that out there.
Had no clue.
Yeah. So, you know, I think it's cute that you just slap a bandana on Waddle Dee and all of a sudden he's a lovable character, right? He stands out above all the other bandanas. Above all the other Waddle Dees. Do you think you'd be... Well, apparently, according to this rumor, right, he's a newcomer, so he's not even he's an Echo Fighter. He's an actual fighter. How do you guys feel about that? Like I know, I think GameXplay made a whole video about the potential moveset for Bandana Waddle Dee.
Right. I mean, he could bake it in, but why? I don't see...
He'd be cute.
Understand.
Not every
assist
character
trophy...
has to look like Conan the Barbarian.
Right. I think
Simon
he would
Belmont.
make more sense as an assist trophy. But I understand there's a big following for some reason. Honestly, I have no idea why people want him in Smash.
Well, if this game is being constructed solely off fan requests, which we know is a huge influence, we know that it's a fact. It's confirmed information that Smash Ultimate is taking a lot of influence from the Smash Ballad and long time requested characters. We know that as a fact. And Bandana Waddle Dee is high up in the polls, like everywhere. So, you know, even though it makes sense. So, you know, whatever. I don't care.
I would be... I mean... I just don't think he needs to be in Smash. I mean, maybe it's an assist trophy, but I don't care if he gets in as a playable character or not. I would not be hyped in the slightest if they announced a playable character.
I'm on the same wavelength as you, but hey, if they show off Bandana Waddle Dee and it has like the coolest moveset ever, then okay. You know? But...
Yeah.
It would be interesting mainly because you could have like the whole... like four, like you have King Dedede, Meta Knight, Kirby, and Bandana Waddle Dee, because they are kind of like a group, you know. So in that regard, it kind of makes sense. So yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens. But again, this rumor I think is fake anyway. So, but I mean, whatever. So how do you guys feel about Incineroar? Incineroar has been like some people keep on talking about him, right? And Incineroar is, I think, Masuda's favorite Pokemon, right? Incineroar. From Generation 7.
I know he's like the biggest Pokemon from Generation 7 in Japan.
Yeah. And he I think moveset wise, he makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
But it's not that I don't like Incineroar. I love Incineroar, but to me he looks like Garfield.
I don't care about him too much. I think he has a possibility of being a really good moveset, but I'd way
he has
rather have
his Z
Decidueye.
move and his Darkest Lariat. Like, there's some cool moves they could do, but you know, it's
But Decidueye, man, he's just so cool.
I mean, Charmander definitely wants Incineroar because he wants more fire-type representation, right? He wants Pyra from Xenoblade, he wants Incineroar, you know, he wants to be in Smash as well. He's actually in Smash. He's in the Saffron City. He comes out of the whole top of the Pokemon.
Mm.
Yep. Yeah. So there's Geno. We all want Geno from Super Mario RPG.
Yep.
Sakurai had wanted to get him in Brawl, right? He's been considered for a long time, so I think he makes sense. There's no one. Chorus Kids is another one of those characters that I'm just like, how?
I mean,
like,
I think the moveset would be kind of like Villager's moveset. Like, where you really have to think outside the box, because, like, Villager and Smash, how does that make any sense?
And that could be why it would be really cool. That could be why it would be really cool, right? So, I can see them. I can see. I mean, I can see everyone here. Like, Rex and Pyra, you know.
Yes, hashtag.
Actually, let's talk about Rex and Pyra a little bit. So, you know, if you want to see the argument, I made an argument yesterday. You can check it out if you want. But you know, they're very popular characters, but they're relatively new, which is why they might not make it. So, but like in terms of moveset, like if you play Xenoblade Chronicles 2, right? Like you have Rex as a driver. He does most of like the melee attacks, so like the A button attacks. But I feel like Pyra would take a lot of the special moves. But also, if Sakura is like, hey, let's put in other blades, like maybe put in Mithra, maybe put in Nia. Nia might be too much, but like being able to swap blades in the flight to kind of change around your strategy would be really cool. And I think the blades should all take up like the B move, like the special attack moves, because they have their own like tiered attacks as well. And Rex has like the other stuff, like he has the anchor shot and the spinning edge. Like those moves would be the A button moves. I think that makes a lot of sense. And anchor shot would also work as a grab, by the way.
Yeah, for sure. That's kind of what I predicted at some point. I actually forget when.
And I feel like they'd basically be kind of like a combination of Rosalina and Pokemon Trainer, because Pyra and Mithra attack, right? Like they're actually in the fold. They're not just standing in the background because they come in to attack, but they have to come in and out, which is why I think it would probably work a little bit more like Rosalina than Pokemon Trainer. You know what I mean? In terms of having like there's like this, they're tethered. They're tethered together. So, and it would be really interesting if they can employ the mechanic where every time in Xenoblade 2, when you attack, when you use an art, right, if you press an art as you land an attack, you get like a blue circle, and it like builds up your skills art meter even more. So if they put in a mechanic in Smash Bros. Where every time you press a move, if you do it as you hit another attack, so you can kind of build up more and more of your special meter, that'd be really cool.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah, and I mean, it could work kind of like Cloud's meter, how he powers up the specials that Pyra or Mithra could do. So I think that's how they could theoretically make a Rex, Pyra, maybe Mithra kind of character.
Yeah. And
for the record, I know you guys have been talking about Elma in the comments. Elma, while I think she's more fitting for a assist trophy, there is definitely a moveset for Elma. If you play Xenoblade Chronicles X, there's a huge moveset there, right? And on top of that, she was just shown off for the what's the name of the new mode for Xenoblade Chronicles 2? It's like some sort
challenge mode or something. Some kind of battle mode.
Yeah, they introduced her as well, and I love her design in Xenoblade Chronicles 2. She looks way better, in my opinion. And yeah, she looks sick in that way. So if they decided to go with her as a character, she also could have a pretty crazy moveset. They could take advantage of the overdrive mechanic. That'd be really cool as well. Yeah, so, you know, I mean, either way, I'd be pretty excited.
Right.
So Isaac also makes a lot of sense. This is a long-time fan-requested character, just like Geno. I feel like Isaac and Geno are kind of not too far behind King K. Rool when it comes to like long-time Nintendo characters that aren't too relevant anymore, but are characters that fans have been wanting for a really long time and would be really unique and cool.
Yeah.
Especially Isaac.
Oh yeah, he's such a requested character. He's always super high up in the ballots and stuff, so I could definitely see him getting in.
Yeah, and then the Skull Kid, we've talked about Skull Kid already, so yeah. So those are the newcomers. I think all of them kind of make sense. The ones I'm a little weird on are Bandana Waddle Dee and Chorus Kids, but that's mainly because yes, I'm not that big a part of those fan bases, right? But I see how Chorus Kids could be a really interesting moveset, and I know Bandana Waddle Dee is a very popular character. So, like I said, this entire list is based off popularity. So, you know, makes sense to me. In terms of Echo Fighters, I think Dixie Kong makes sense as an Echo Fighter for Diddy Kong. The only problem I have with it is that the up B wouldn't work. But since we've seen with Chrom, Echo characters can pull from other characters, right? So for Diddy Kong, what they could do is that instead of the up B being the jetpack from Diddy Kong, they could take the up B from King K. Rool, right, with the propeller, and just change around the animations, because guess what Dixie Kong has? She has a propeller with her hair. And there you go. Echo of Diddy Kong, but with a different up B.
Yeah, I think that she could definitely could change her up B without and still have her as an Echo.
Yeah. Then there's, I mean, Isaac could get Felix. Okay, yeah. So I mean, they could throw in another character from Gold, so that makes sense. Ken is literally an Echo in Street Fighter of Ryu, so having him in makes sense. Shadow, we haven't seen him as an assist trophy. Everyone's kind of been thinking that he got promoted to a character as an Echo for Sonic. And since, like I said, I brought up with Chrom, right, how they have Chrom doesn't have the exact same moves as Roy, even though it's an Echo of him. Maybe they could throw in like a neutral sort of attack, a neutral B that's for a gun, right? Change around one of the moves on Shadow so it's closer to Shadow's moveset, even though he's still an Echo of Sonic. I think that could work out. Isabelle from Animal Crossing. Brand, I saw your video. I think you said that you don't see how Isabelle being an Echo for. I mean, I disagree with you, but I'll let you have the floor with this one if you want to talk about it.
I don't like her as an assist trophy because I feel like she doesn't make sense as an assist trophy with her moveset. Now there are other characters
as an assist trophy or as a newcomer.
No, excuse me, as an Echo.
Okay.
Sorry, as an Echo, she doesn't make sense to be an Echo of Villager, in my opinion. Although there are other Echoes and stuff in Smash that have some moves that don't make as much sense. But for this one, I'm just like, she doesn't do anything the Villager does. None of the Villager's moves. Now the Villager's moves he doesn't even do some of the moves he does. So what are you gonna do? But she doesn't really plant. She doesn't buy houses. She just lives. She has her own house somewhere else. She doesn't buy any houses. She doesn't deal with Tom Nook. She doesn't do a lot of the things that the Villager does in the game. Plant trees and different things like that. Like it wouldn't, like, she doesn't do the things the Villager does, so why would she do them in Smash? Like, I feel like they could come up with an own moveset for her. I don't think it's something that can't be done. It's just something I wouldn't personally like as much because it wouldn't make sense. Like, she could have her own moveset, and it could be really wacky and crazy and stuff, and I feel like it would be wasted potential, is kind of what I'm saying. I don't necessarily disbelieve it, I just think it's wasted potential.
I see. But, I mean, my counter argument is that, you know, these Echo characters are actually, there's a lot of potential with them because they, like I said, you can change, we've seen that examples where the Echoes can have some different moves, the properties and weight of the moves can also vary quite a bit, and the animation. So if you change around the animations, you change around the properties and weight of the moves, and you literally swap out some of the mechanics of them to different moves, Isabelle could end up still feeling pretty different to Villager and maybe still somehow resemble what she represents from the game.
It's possible.
Not that I care. I mean, Isabelle for me is another one of those characters that I personally don't care for, but I understand a lot of people want him. So, yeah.
I'd rather have Rossetti. He'd be awesome.
I like Rossetti for what he does already. I'd like him just being there, breaking the fourth wall, and being really angry when we reset the game. Because what if we're never going to be able to play as Rossetti, because if you were to play as Rossetti and reset the game as Rossetti would explode. Rossetti can't reset himself. Like, that would be, he'd be a hypocrite.
I mean, that only really fits in the context of playing Animal Crossing, though.
You can reset Smash Brothers.
Yeah, but Rossetti doesn't pop, does he? I don't think so. He doesn't pop up.
He doesn't pop. He only pops up if you catch the assist trophy. If you use the assist trophy. I mean, if you get him, right? So I mean, he doesn't come out whenever you reset the game without saving. I'm just being meta about Rossetti.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I got you.
Yeah. So then, who else is left? Nobody.
Gardevoir? We didn't talk about.
I think Gardevoir kind of could be an echo of Mewtwo. Gardevoir is one of those characters that I think is pretty popular character. That's almost there's also like a curveball character no one sees coming, right? But I feel like Gardevoir is also in this list because it's just a fake rumor list, and Gardevoir is just one of those random characters that's been rumored, right, by another probable fake leak.
Yeah.
Rumor, right. So, but I wouldn't mind Gardevoir as an echo of Mewtwo. I think they change around the animations, right? Some of the properties, you know, and Gardevoir would be floating around doing cool stuff. And I'm all for having more feminine characters. So having Gardevoir, having Isabelle, having Dixie Kong, you know, I like that. And like for me, like I'm one of those people who thinks that Corrin should just be female. Just because like I like it when there's more of a balance. So,
I guess.
Yeah, but
I mean, I'm saying I guess about Corrin. Yeah, I definitely think there should be more females in Smash.
Oh yeah, that's just me. And if I ever play as Corrin, it's just female. So, yeah, but so is there anything else you guys want to say in regards to this? Probably, I think it's probably fake.
I think it's fake.
Yeah.
I mean, it'd be awesome and amazing. I do think a lot of the characters will get in, but this is fake.
Yeah. GG, I know Corrin is male and female. I just don't care. I just like playing as just female, and I understand it's because you know it's from the game Fire Emblem. It represents the series. I understand that.
I mean, playing as female Robin is weird for me because I play as male Robin in Fire Emblem. So if I had played the game Corrin's in as male Corrin and it was only female Corrin, I'd be like, what? You know? Because that's like my headcanon is that Robin's male. So a lot of people's headcanon is probably that Corrin's male. So.
Oh, Robin was that 7th Fire Emblem character that I forgot about.
That's what it was.
Yeah. Well, it's like, who's Robin? Oh, right, yeah. Yeah. The tones.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so is there anything else that we should get to? I mean, I think we pretty much covered everything, guys.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, I think that's it. What are you guys saying in the chat?
Sabbath64 says Happy Master Salesman as an assist trophy, and I say yes, please. Happy Master Salesman should be in everything. He's the best character.
Yeah, Happy Master Salesman should have his own franchise.
He should have his own game.
Yeah.
Discovering how he found Majora's Mask.
No, there should be a Zelda fighting game that is just 2 characters, Tingle and Happy Mask Salesman. You pick one or the other and you just fight each other.
What?
Yeah. And there's one stage. The stage is on is the Happy Mask sales shop being carried into the air with a giant balloon.
Hey, Tinkle has his own game. Happy Mask Salesman needs his own game where he finds Majora's Mask.
What if that was the Zelda mobile game, Happy Mask Salesman? Where you have to make a living as a Happy Mask Salesman.
That'd be something. Dude, there is something with Happy Mask Salesman knows too much Majora's Mask tonight. He's got a huge backstory. I want to know what it is.
Wait, who?
Happy Mask Salesman. He knows he knows so much shit, and you're just like, how do you know this?
It's
like,
interesting.
Dude's freaky.
Yeah, it's kind of like, where did he get the mask, right?
Right. Yeah.
And he has all these other masks as well, which are kind of creepy. Like, it's kind of one of those things that we'll never know.
That's why would he need his own game? How come Tinkle has his own game? Happy Mask Salesman doesn't have his own game. That is messed up. Tingle almost got a second game.
So, what's his face from Breath of the Wild? The guy that's obsessed with monsters.
Oh, yeah, I think he's just.
I don't. His name.
Do you have a name?
The
I don't remember if he has a name.
He has a name.
Okay.
Mars, you know who we're talking about?
Obsessed with monsters?
Yeah, so you have to change your. You have to sell monster parts from on.
Oh.
And buy stuff.
Yeah, I know you're talking about. I don't know his name.
He's weird.
I'm literally Googling guy that is obsessed with monsters in Breath of the Wild. Maybe I'll find his name.
Monster Shop Breath of the Wild.
Oh, that's a more smart search. That's a much smarter search.
Hilton.
Yep.
Hilton.
Hilton.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
Kilton,
great.
Yeah. I thought you said Hilton. I was like, wait. Yeah.
Yes, Hilton. Sure.
Yeah, I was gonna say that Kilton's kind of like a little bit like the Happy Mask Salesman.
A little bit.
A little bit. Like, he sells weird shit. He clearly thrives in the black market. He works with a lot of shady people. He has a dark past, right? And he's a very, well, almost every Zelda character is eccentric, so I can't really use that as a comparison. But he should be the DLC fighter for this fighting game between Tingle and Happy Mask Salesman. Kilton.
Yeah.
Kilton, yeah.
For sure.
And then they could add Waluigi, because he'll never make him a Smash Brothers fighter.
She's in there for no reason.
Yeah. So, I think we're done here, guys. Anything else we want to talk about before we call it a night?
I think we're good.
Okay. Yeah, I guess we're good. I guess this is it for now, guys. I feel like adding just one more thing, but I don't know what that thing is. Let me see if there's anything in the chat that you guys have said. Guys, if you have any like last things you want us to talk about, bring it up now. Yeah, fingers crossed for Thursday, right?
Yeah.
Caleb 5 stars saying make Nia an assist trophy. I really love Nia. I would love to see Nia. I would even prefer Nia as, like, you know, some sort of combination with Rex, but I'm not gonna. I know some people are like pretty iffy on spoilers regarding Xenoblade Chronicles 2, but I feel like it's been enough time that where you can just, you don't have to say what the story is, but show certain characters. You know what I mean? Or do you guys disagree with me?
Yeah, I think you probably gotta wait.
Yeah, I think we're gonna wait on that one.
What about the green character from Xenoblade Chronicles 2? What if that was a final smash?
I've been saying that, and I've been like, you know, it could happen because Sakurai's he's not shy about spoiling things. Why is Lucina in Smash? That's a huge spoiler. There's a lot of characters that have just huge spoilers.
Actually,
like,
that's a great point. Yeah, that's a great point, actually. So, yeah, I don't know. Because I feel like the character themselves doesn't necessarily spoil, you know, the game. So,
no, not really. I mean, if Rex and Pyre get in the game, I think that has to be their final smash. Like, it has to be. Nothing else really stands out. I mean, it could be like level 4 of Pyra's level 4 special could be their final smash, but no, this would be way cooler.
Yeah. So actually, we got an interesting question. So, Mr. Nickel was asking, so what about third-party characters like Heihachi from Tekken or a Hunter from Monster Hunter?
I feel like if Hunter was going to get in there, they would have announced him.
Yeah, I think it's weird that they showed the Yeah, I agree with you, Brandon. It's weird that they showed the Rathalos without a character reveal for Monster Hunter. And the thing about Monster Hunter is that the characters are just kind of like a blank slate, right? Like, you can make them what you want. So that's maybe why they didn't create a Hunter from Monster Hunter, right? But they're going to have, like, a Rathalos. Maybe they'll have a couple other monsters from Monster Hunter instead. Having character. Heihachi, on the other hand, he's one of those characters that... Tekken's from Namco, right? Produced by Namco?
Yes.
Yeah? Pretty sure.
I think so.
Yeah, Namco is helping develop the game, so, you know, maybe they can...
That would make sense.
Put Heihachi in there. My only problem with that is that, like... It's not that I have a problem with it, it's just... I feel like there's rarely Tekken on a Nintendo system, right? But, again, Cloud from Final Fantasy is in Smash Brothers, so... Yeah, I mean, yeah... Heihachi would be interesting, for sure. I think Heihachi is kind of DLC territory if I had to guess. Yeah.
Sure.
But yeah. So, you know, I guess we'll find out what happens regarding this rumor direct. I think it's happening next week, but hey, if it happens this Thursday, that's gonna be really cool. And I'm pretty sure a lot of, I think everyone here is on the same page that if we get a big direct, we're gonna get at least one Smash character reveal. So, yeah.
Yeah, probably.
Alright, so anyways, everyone who's still here, if you haven't seen Brandon before from What About Nintendo, check him out. The link to his channel is in the description below. And Mars, Lazy James, check out his channel as well. He also makes Nintendo stuff and technology stuff. Check out his channel. He streams. Especially you love streaming Splatoon. I know you love streaming Splatoon. Check out his channel. His link is also in the description below. Is there anything else you want to add to that, Mars?
No, just everything he said. Mars, Lazy James, Mario, James.
The man of many names.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess you know, that's it, guys. Yeah, make sure to check everyone out. Like the video if you're new here. Subscribe. It's always appreciated. And there's all those other social media platforms that you can check out as well. So yeah, also join the Discord, right? So if you want to continue the conversation, join the Discord, guys. But and yeah, Mr. Nickel, Adam and Mithra. Yeah, it's a kind of an idea I had as an Echo character. That'd be really cool. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. And yeah, Goku is popular in Smash Bros, but so is Shrek. So, you know. Although I'm a big Dragon Ball fan, so, you know, even though Goku wouldn't necessarily fit, I wouldn't complain. But, you know, I don't complain very often. But, yeah. Anyways, everyone, we'll see you all really soon. Thanks for coming by. Have a good night or day, whenever you watch this. See ya.
Bye, guys.
Peace out.